Alright, hello and welcome. Today we are going over the Mitsubishi Evo 4 and we're going to see how good it is stock, fully upgraded as well as engine swapped. And if you guys do go on to enjoy today's video, don't forget leave a like and subscribe for more Gran Turismo content. So, the Mitsubishi Evo 4. This vehicle bone stock is going to cost you 46,600 credits. And what you get for that, well, you get a 2-liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder that pushes out 273 brake horsepower. It has all-wheel drive, comes in at a weight of 1,350 kgs, is capable of doing 155 miles per hour, and overall it's just a genuinely good car, because we see that with the full model change of the base Lance Evolution sedan, the true second generation of the Evo series, the Evo 4, was born. Now the 4G63 is now producing 276 brake horsepower over the previous generation's 264. But the biggest change from the Evo 3 to the Evo 4 has to be the introduction of the electronically controlled AYC, that's the active yaw control, and that replaces the mechanical LSD in the rear diff to just improve the overall handling of the Evo 4. Now when it comes to using the vehicle in its bone stock state, it is slow. If we're gonna start looking and comparing it to normal modern day sports vehicles, it is a bit on the slower side. We do see it set lap times around the 2-minute mark around KO driving park, with it reaching a top speed of 198 kilometers per hour before needing to brake going through the first corner. The active electronically controlled rear diff, you can feel it slightly, but I wasn't really noticing a massive change or rewriting the book on how the Evo handles. Now when we take it off-road, we actually see that the vehicle sets lap times around the 1 minute 24.6 second mark, which isn't that bad considering the fact that this vehicle is bone stock. So in its stock state, the Evo is okay, it's decent, but I don't really see you leaving this vehicle in its standard state. So let's just jump over to this vehicle fully upgraded. So now, if you head on over to a tuning shop and spend quite a bit of money, well, you can then upgrade the engine to now a 2.1 liter inline 4-cylinder that's turbocharged and produces 544 brake horsepower and comes in at a weight of 1,053 kgs. So yes, it does produce a lot more power, and we pull out almost 300 kgs from the vehicle, which should make it a lot better when it comes to using this vehicle around the circuit, and it does exactly that. Now coming down the main straightaway, we find ourselves doing 261 kilometers per hour coming down the short straightaway on KO driving park before we slam on the brakes to make it around the first corner. Now the handling of the Evo honestly depends on how you have it set up, but overall I saw no issue with the Evo being fully upgraded. However, I did feel like it was actually a bit slower than the Evo 3 that we tested out in the previous video. And if we look at the times, we see that the Evo 4 is actually 3 seconds slower than the previous generation when it is fully upgraded. And that has to do with the fact that the Evo 3 is lighter and actually produces more power from the vehicle's stock engine. So yeah, it's not looking great for the Evo 4. And even when we take it off-road, we see that yes, it still has the off-road capabilities because it is an Evo at the end of the day, but it's just not as fast as the Evo 3, which I honestly found so surprising. So let's see if we can change that. Now if we take this vehicle on over to GT Auto, well, that means now we can actually engine swap it with the engine from the Mitsubishi Lancer Group B rally car. And with us applying that engine, we now see that the vehicle produces 788 brake horsepower after we slap on a high RPM turbocharger. So yes, 788 horsepower is nothing to bat your eyelids at. and the weight is now 1019 kgs. So around Kyoto Driving Park, we see the vehicle does 291 kilometers per hour. Now I do say it can go over 300, but due to how heavily I had the downforce set on this vehicle, it took some k's off its top speed. But overall, using the vehicle around Kyoto Driving Park, it is so planted. It does everything you want it to do. Yes, it does slide out occasionally, which okay, you can get used to and counteract that, so you can get the pure experience that you want out of your Evo from the Evo 4. So overall, using a vehicle around Kyoto Driving Park, it does slide about. It is a bit tricky, but it really depends on how you have the vehicle set up. If you don't have a good tune in it, the vehicle will not perform to the level you expect it to. Now when we take it off-road, we see that the Mitsubishi Evo 4 actually has a really good time, because we see it is faster than the previous generation Evo, because it's just overall better. We can actually feel that rear diff change come into effect when we're taking it off-road. Yes, somehow I felt it more off-road than on-road. Yeah, but anyway, the Evo 4, when it comes to actually using it off-road, is fantastic. It's such a blast. It handles bumps incredibly well. It handles off-road the way you then expect an Evo to handle an off-road circuit. Now with this engine, it does mean fuel economy is really good. So if we take it on over to the WTC 700 around Le Mans, well, this vehicle actually performs extremely well, because we see with the vehicle being on fuel map level 3, coming down the main straightaway on Le Mans, we see the vehicle hit 323 kilometers per hour before we need to slam on the brakes, and overall sets a initial lap of 3 minutes and 56 seconds, which is honestly baffling, because that is 8 seconds faster than the previous generation Evo. Now I do need to go back and retest all of these vehicles with proper tunes and actually have them really dialed in, instead of just slapping together whichever fastest way I can get it down to 700 performance points, because I'm gonna be letting you know which is the best Evo to swap with this particular engine swap. And if you don't want to miss out on whatever other Evos I do go over, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So the Evo 4 is really good. It's fun to use. I still prefer the Evo 3 over it, I won't lie to you, but relatively it's not a bad car. And considering the fact that it actually costs half the price of the Evo 3 when you first purchase it, it's a cost effective way to get the same performance out as the Evo 3. I see nothing wrong with the Evo 4, and it's overall a really good vehicle. It's up to you whether you want the Evo 3 or the Evo 4, but personally I'm taking the Evo 3. But I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Which are you gonna take, and what are your thoughts on the Evo 4? With all this being said, thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for your time, and I will see you guys in the next Gran Turismo 7 video. Peace.